Okay, so you want to get down to the bottom of why you're actually tired. And it usually, a lot of it has to do with you being able to make energy in your cell production. In the mitochondria, whatever that's called, mitrodon, what it's MIC, you know it. You can look it up, okay? I'm not a doctor. Anyway, it's in the center part of the cell. That is the part that makes energy, okay? So, there's that reason. So your cell turnover rate, your cell reproduction, the engine part of your cell may be low because you're not feeding it directly the type of actual nutrients that it needs to be able to do that. Okay. There's also low iron. You could be low iron. You definitely need iron to make red blood cell production, right? For your blood to be able to carry oxygen throughout your body, from the top to the bottom, right? And effectively, right? Or you'll be tired. If you're low iron, you definitely will be tired. Also, you could have a hormonal imbalance. If your hormone imbalance is off, whether you're a man or a woman, if your estrogen is too low or whatever is not right, if your testosterone is too low, you also need to get that checked. You'll need to get your hormone levels checked, right? Okay, to make sure you're in an optimal levels. So there's a couple different reasons. B vitamins are very important for your energy, right? So I would say, though, you want to get to the bottom reason of why you're so tired. If your adrenal glands have been attacked by too much caffeine, by these Red Bulls and different things, right? It's almost like they're dead until you give them a kick of the caffeine, right? So you get this rush of energy and then you crash. Okay? Now, naturally, throughout the day, when you get up in the morning, if you want your green tea or whatever you do, okay, but then somewhere around 2 or 3 o'clock, you naturally kind of dip. But especially if you eat a very heavy meal. So if you are at work and you eat a heavy carbohydrate meal while you're at work, you will come back to work sluggish and tired, right? Because it's a bit much for your liver to digest, and your body wants you to go to sleep. They call that the itis. Your body wants you to go to sleep so your body can digest whatever you just ate. If you eat a lot of heavy carbs and also red meat or a lot of meat, and depending on how well you run, it depends on how healthy you are. It depends on your body, right? Because there are some bodies, if you're an O blood type, you do very well with meat and you usually feel more energized, right? Because O blood types tend to do very good on meat, red meat, specifically like beef. Okay, so in any case, but naturally you're gonna feel a little sleepy, a little tired naturally around the 2 o'clock hour. That's the natural time that you dip. Okay, so because your nutrients may be running low as well, whatever you ate for breakfast is burnt off. And so your body is like basically telling you it's time to eat. I need to be, re-energized with better food, with some food, okay? And it might be time for another little hit of some vitamins or some nutrients to kind of help bring I think it's called ATP or ADP, something like that, production, which is your mitochondria production, is your cell production, okay? All right, so I'm saying all this to say, if you are hooked on these Red Bulls, if you are hooked on these type of drinks, right? Like hooked on them or whatever, it's not good. If you feel heart palpitations or anything like that, it's not good for you. And I want you to start exploring the other things that could potentially be the reason why you're so tired. Okay? Now, if you need iron, ask yourself, are you eating iron? Are you taking in enough iron? If you are, then why are you not able to process it or store it or use it effectively? So there might be something going on in your digestive tract that's blocking you from absorbing your your iron, okay? But there's a couple ways that I know that I actually I had just put this on how I absorb my iron. For me, the number one way is I use iron patches. Okay, I also will go and get shots every once in a while too. But you can take iron pills. They make you constipated, so you have to be real careful. You have to take them a certain kind of way. Okay? In any case, I'm going to talk about what I do, okay? And hopefully this may help some of you out there. Okay, let's just assume that your hormones are fine. And let's just assume that your iron is fine. Okay, and you're just kind of like, just a little sluggish or a little tired. This is what I recommend right here. If you want to do some energy drinks, if you want to, or if you feel like you're going to do your coffee or whatever, right? You can do a little bit of caffeine, but you want to make sure that there's no taurine. Taurine is the main ingredient that I want you to stay away from. Aspartame. No aspartame and no taurine. You want to stay away from those ingredients, okay? There's another word called, I cannot say this either, phenylalanine. It starts with a PHYLI. You'll see it in a lot of stuff. You have to be careful with that one too. You have to be careful with too much of that one as well. You'll see that in a lot of these. That's an amino acid. And so again, you just got to be careful with some of those ingredients. If you do any of those drinks, you need to cut them in half. Actually look at the serving size. Whatever the serving size, if it's 1 can and the serving size says 2 per can, that means if you drink the whole can, that means you're actually drinking 2 servings. So what you really need to do is to cut that in half and add some water to the 1/2. Okay, add water to dilute it some, because it could be a hit to your body. Okay, this right here, this is what I love. This one right here, it's called V8 Energy. Let me tell you something. I have been on my V8 Energy for years now. I have been on this since it came out for years and years ago. This has become very popular now, okay? But I can remember when it first came out, and I love the ingredients in here. Every ingredient here, nothing bothers me. There's nothing fake in it. There's no dyes or additives, things like that. This, it has, I'm going to just read it, okay? And there are different sizes of these, okay? But this particular one has 90 milligrams of caffeine. It says, excellent source of B vitamins, no sugar added, no artificial colors, non-GMO, and it is gluten-free. Now, there is those vitamins in there. It's made from like sweet potatoes, carrots, yellow carrots, fruit juices, green tea. It has your vitamin C in here, and your B vitamins, and that's about it. So that's what makes it sweet. Okay, so it has niacin in it, 3.2 milligrams. It has your B6, your B12, it does have potassium, 110 milligrams of potassium. Okay, and it's 1 gram of sugar. Yeah, so anyway, I have been on this. They have different flavors. I have been on this for years now. I love my V8. I love my V8. Anybody who has ever been a friend of mine, or if you've ever dated me, you know how much I love my V8. Okay, I don't know why am I getting a glare on my face. Anyway, I love my V8 because of the B vitamins, because of what's in here. You don't get a crash, and you get a good amount of caffeine, so you feel it. But it also is a kind of, for me, I feel like the energy kind of lasts. I think I can definitely go. I feel like it lasts about 6 hours. Okay, maybe longer. Just depends on how I'm doing, right? But in general, I pop my V8 open first thing in the morning. I keep mine by the side of my bed. Okay, I don't play about my V8. People know that. And if I give you a V8, if I give you one of these, I must love you, okay? Because I don't share these with anybody, because people know. Like, don't mess with my V8, okay? Even my second husband, he said he knew I wasn't up in a way. He said he knew not to bother me until he heard this pop open. So I have been on these since even before, over 12 years had to be, because I started drinking these before my first husband passed away. So that's been over 12 years now, so it's been a minute. In any case, this is what I want you to switch over to. This is what I want you to switch over to, okay? Is this energy. Mine is peach mango, but it's V8. There is no tomato juice in here. There is no tomato. You will not taste tomato. It does not hurt your stomach like that, okay? So a lot of people associate V8 with tomato juice, but not anymore. They have so many other juices now, okay? So you can get these on sale a lot too. Anyway, you can have these auto ships. I have some auto ships every month from my Amazon, okay? This is how much I'm so like making sure that I do not run out of my V8. You can have this. This is stamped approved. And you can have this, you know, I typically drink one in the morning and one in my evening, at my evening time, or in my afternoon lunchtime, like around 2, around the 2 o'clock hour is typically when I like mine, because I know I'm going to have my bit of a slump, you know, when I kind of go down a little bit. So I like to have my drink, and that's my, it has caffeine in it. It's like coffee. Now, the reason why I stopped drinking coffee, I do love my coffee. The reason why I stopped drinking my coffee is because coffee has an estrogenic effect in the body. So it can raise your estrogen levels, and it can actually make your fibroids grow. So if you're a woman and you have fibroids, I had to, now I'm not like 100% off of coffee. I will have coffee a couple of times a year, you know, I definitely don't have it every week. I pretty much stopped because of that, to help relieve my fibroids, to help them to stop growing, okay? And this is when I switched over to V8, actually. So I'm sharing this with you because, you know, it freaks me out every time I hear somebody say, you know, Red Bull, because of that experience that I had of the nurse asking me if my husband drank V8, okay? And we did have an autopsy, and he did have, I'm not V8, I'm sorry, not V8. If my husband drank Red Bull, that's what the nurse asked me. And we did have an autopsy done, and no, he had no Red Bull in his body. He had drank it in the past, I know that, but definitely not recently, okay? But being that people have issues with that, okay, and the nurse said that to me, and that was something that she even seen in the hospital, it really concerned me, right? And it's been like this for years, so I've been telling people about this for a long time now. Anyway, those are the main ingredients that you want to like stay away from: taurine and too much caffeine, aspartame, artificial, if it says artificial this, that, and the other, artificial dyes and stuff like that, not good for you. And the phenylalanine, which can be okay, like I said, but not in high amounts, okay? Because it's an amino acid. Now, the other thing that you can do is, and it depends on what you're doing for that day, but if you're going to be tired if your electrolytes are off, if you're not hydrated, if your electrolytes are off. Remember, you need electrolytes in the body to be able to carry the nutrients and the vitamins to all the different parts in your body, right? So one of the things that you can do is, absolutely, you can mix these two. I do this all the time. And it is okay, because I love my body armor, and I also love the you know, the electrolytes in here, okay? Like I said, I'm always mixing my stuff. I have the powders too. Sometimes I do that too, and they help to carry these nutrients, you know, all around. But these are okay. Everything that's in here is okay. You know, my body is a-okay with any of these. There's no breakout happening or no crazy heart palpitations or anything, right? Now, you have to know what your caffeine limit is, though, because if your caffeine limit, I know some people who can't go over 40 milligrams of caffeine, okay? So you just have to know what your limit is, right? And you'll know, because if your heart goes like this crazy, or you get real jittery and you've drank something that said 200 milligrams, that's too much for you, okay? And that's your body's warning you, and you better drink some water so you can get the jitters to go away. Drink a lot of water so it will help to get that to go away, and you pee it out, okay? Now, I do patches. I do vitamin patches. I do B12 patches. I'll do iron patches. I even go and get the shots, okay? I like to go and get the shots or whatever. Those are good. I have a place that I can go up there as a doctor that, you know, they will give you the shot, okay? And that helps you also with your energy levels. But my point in sharing this with you is, if you get very, very tired, or you feel like you are very low motivation, maybe to finish your work day, or maybe you have a lot going on and you just need something extra, I'm wanting to share what is safe and okay for you to have. But also, too, I want you to think about, you know, taking in a protein shake of some sort. Now, if you're black, I'm just going to keep it real with you, we don't do very well with milk-based, dairy-based products, okay? Dairy, cow-based products, we don't digest very well. Whey protein is a derivative of milk that comes from cows. Most of us who don't do well, if you don't do well on dairy, you likely won't do well on whey protein either, because whey protein is from milk, cow's milk, and will give you the bubble guts. If you get bubble guts from your protein, it's the wrong protein, okay? I suggest switching over to a different source of protein, and milk. So you can switch over. For men, I suggest almond milk because it can raise your testosterone naturally. For women, I suggest soy milk because it can raise your estrogen naturally, if that's what you want. If you're like me and you're already a little high in your estrogen levels and you need to kind of keep them at bay for various reasons, then no soy milk either. You can just do almond milk, or you can do oat milk, or, coconut milk. I do coconut milk. Okay. And then the protein that you want to look for, specifically, if you have a digestive tract that's very weak, or harder to digest, there's different proteins. There's rice protein, there's egg protein, there's pea protein. There's different types of proteins, powdered proteins that you can get. Okay. But you want to pick one that is decent or okay for you, right? And take it with you wherever you go. Always have some with you, and you can add it to, if you want to buy those little bottles, if you're on the go, and I'm talking like if you're on the go a lot, like I am, always working and doing things, right? When you go into the store, you can buy the almond milk, the little almond milk, the Bolthouse Farms or whatever. But add your scoop of powder in there, because when you have enough protein in your body, and that gives you the amino acids and stuff, you have to make sure you're taking in enough protein to also help support your energy level. Okay, it's very important. So that's why I'm sharing this, is to make sure that you're getting enough of your macronutrients, right? And when you are doing that, and then you are supporting yourself with your electrolytes, and as you're doing your different things throughout the day, taking your B vitamins or whatever, it's like your body has everything it needs to start repairing cell reproduction and to start to feel feeling a little bit more energized. Okay, so I'm sharing these tips because, well, I'm going to show you my protein that I have. Okay, let me see if here it is. That I keep some. I've always kept some in my car because I'm on the go a lot, and I never know, what I'm gonna need. My protein, because I have this at home too. Okay, so I have two different proteins. This one here has some green, like the powdered greens that you can get. That's kind of what's in here. And this is another protein with some other things in it, just regular protein. Okay, so it just depends on what I feel like I need or what I feel like I want to add. But I will throw that into one of my bottles. I'll throw it in different things. If I bring my own milk or whatever, if I happen to do that. But a lot of times, if I'm home, then I just go ahead and make whatever at home, right? But I like to keep things so that I can make sure that I'm running effectively and that I am feeling at my best, right? And that I'm not getting tired or run down, because it's easy for that to happen, especially if you work full-time, if you work a lot, okay? And also, you may or may not have ever been exposed to this type of information, right? It's like my guy over there that I met that was bodyguard, or security. That's what he was. He was security. He was doing stage security, and he was a big guy, big strapping guy, and he was tired. And he was trying to do a Red Bull, and I said, no, you're not. And I gave him one of those and said, you're going to drink this right here. And I explained to him why, and, he thanked me for the information. He was like, he never had anybody break things down like that to him. So this happened. I feel like I have this same type of conversation with people all the time, as far as like getting to the root of why they might be sleepy or might be tired. Now, let's get real. There's also other things called stress, okay? And if you are going through a stressful time, I'm just going to get real. I know, if you are dealing with somebody, if you are in a relationship and whoever you're dealing with is hard to deal with, if you're going through a divorce, if you're going through a separation, if you are dealing with somebody who is narcissistic or crazy in some sort of way, I can already tell you that, you know, your body is going to be drained because you're mentally, psychologically, emotionally being drained. And that's where all your energy and nutrients is going towards that. Okay. And really and truly, you need to, you know, think about your life and think about who should be in your life and who needs to be, who's draining you. You know, if you are dealing with an energy vampire, okay, somebody who's trying to suck the life out of you so they can go and do whatever they want to do, right? Or take it back to whoever they want to take it back to, or whatever, right? Sucking the energy out of you to literally be able to, you know, perform at their levels that they want. Okay, I mean, that's not right. They need to go ahead and do whatever they need to do to get their own energy level instead of trying to draw and pull off of you, right? So I just know for me personally, I am like way more productive in life when I keep my energy to myself and I'm doing the things that I need to do for myself. You know, it's like my body comes back, I start feeling better, I start looking better, and I feel like I'm able to start maintaining the things that I need to do to keep myself up, right? So I know it is very important for me to make sure that whoever I allow in my space is not draining me, but they're going to be giving back to me the way that I'm probably going to be giving to them. Like, I need definitely to make sure that, you know, I had to be very careful about it. Like, I just have to be very careful about not allowing energy suckers, you know, around me, okay? So that I can, you know, be productive and just, you know, do what I need to do and get done, okay? And live my best life. Okay? Anyway, that's it for now. I hope some of this information helps you. Yeah, and I will continue to go into more different things like this, that tips and things that you can do, especially if you're on the go a lot, especially if you work full time. I like to share different things that I do because I understand I'm on the go all the time and I have to maintain myself as well. So anyway, that's it. Bye.